What's up, plant lovers? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be sharing non-toxic plants that are safe for cats and dogs. But I do just want to give a quick disclaimer that even though these plants are considered non-toxic for cats and dogs, it's still never a good idea to let your pet nibble on your plants or eat them. So first we have this little guy, and this one is called the Haworthia Big Band. And you can see he's just a little guy at the moment. Big name, small plant, but it has this gorgeous striping on it. This is a succulent, so all you need to do with this one is give it some bright light, water it when it's dry. It's a really cool plant. If you are into your succulents, I'd highly recommend it because it's honestly just one of the easiest plants that I have. It is so easy to look after. I've had this for years. It's not exactly a fast grower, but it looks quite nice on a bright windowsill. Next up is the Chinese money plant, and this is definitely one of my favourite plants at the moment. I absolutely love it. I love the way the leaves grow in these little circles. It looks so pretty in the home. And this one is a really easy care plant. All you need to do, give it bright indirect light, let the soil dry out a little bit between watering. I don't let mine dry out all the way, but I do make sure that I don't overload it with water, and I kind of let it dry out probably 3/4 of the way, and mine seems really happy. It's already growing really fast. It keeps putting out leaf after leaf, and I think if the little woody stem gets much bigger, I may have to give it a little bit of support. So yeah, highly recommend that one. Really good for beginners too. Next up is this guy, and this is known as the zebra plant, but it's also called the Aphalandra Squarrosa. Zebra plant is much easier to say. And this one is probably slightly more tricky to look after than the last ones I showed you, but don't be put off by that, because as long as you give it what it needs, it's just fine. As long as you make sure that you don't let it dry out, it should be just fine. Once you get that right, it's happy. This one also likes bright indirect light to medium light. I find that if it gets any direct sun, it will go floppy. So don't put it in direct sun at all. This one does not like it. I tend to keep mine in a sort of area where it gets partially bright indirect, partially medium. Nothing too strong. It's quite a sensitive plant. It does like its conditions to stay relatively stable. So yeah, I just recommend not letting this one dry out at all though, because it is not forgiving. But it's a really rewarding plant to have. The variegation on it is absolutely beautiful, as you can see. So I would highly recommend it if you're after maybe slightly more of a challenge. This next plant is the Maranta Fascinator, and although I'm showing you this version of the Maranta, I believe all Marantas are pet safe, but this is the version that I have with the kind of red bits on it, and I highly recommend this one. It's a very fast grower. It looks gorgeous. It does eventually start to kind of trail off because it kind of grows in clumps, just pushing out clumps, and yeah, it's a really cool plant. And as I say, you can get different varieties of this, so if you're looking for a different version, have a look around the shops and you'll see different ones. There's a lemon lime version, which is really pretty. I definitely have that one on my list. There's also a silvery version, which I think is called Silver Band. But yeah, Maranta, a real classic, and you can't go wrong with one of these. They don't like to be in bright sun, so make sure you shield yours from any bright sun. Just keep it lightly moist, and it will enjoy a bit of humidity if you want to give it to it. It will love the bathroom, but you don't have to give it humidity. It's also going to be just fine in normal humidity. Mine sits in my living room and it's just ambient in here, so I've had this a while and it does just fine. It's not a fussy plant at all. Even though it looks kind of exotic with the markings on the leaves, it's not fussy at all. And then lastly I have this blue star fern, and I believe quite a number of ferns are pet safe, but this is the one that I have, and I would highly recommend this one. It's a very forgiving fern. I always say that it's not as difficult as some of the other ferns can be. Some ferns can be a little bit tricky. This one doesn't really mind if you accidentally let it dry out. In general, ferns like to stay a bit moist, but I often let mine get dry because I forget about it because it's in the bathroom, and it always bounces back. It doesn't crisp up and it does just fine. But yeah, this one's really cool. It's got lovely soft leaves. It's got a kind of a bluey sheen to it, and it looks stunning. As I say, I keep mine in the bathroom, and it seems to love the little burst of humidity it gets when we take a shower in there, and it just seems really happy. Yeah, it's definitely an easy care plant. Again, really all it wants is kind of bright indirect light. I keep it in a place where it won't get any direct sun, and it seems happy there. It really thrives in my bathroom. I water this one, as I say, whenever the soil is almost dry. Sometimes I forget and it dries out completely, and it's doing just fine. But yeah, this is quite an attractive fern, and I think maybe because the leaves aren't quite as delicate as some other ferns, it seems to be more of a survivor. So if you're a bit of a underwaterer, then maybe this is a good option for you. What did you think of today's list, guys? Do let me know if you have any funny stories about your pets and your plants. I'd love to hear them. The cats, dogs, any kind of pet really. Put them in the comments so we can all have a chuckle. Hopefully nice stories, funny stories. If you have any, yeah, share them with the community and let's have a little chuckle about that. And thanks a lot for watching, guys. Really appreciate you being here, as always. Thank you for watching this video. And until next time, look after your plants and look after yourself.